Anthony and I are podcast back for another episode. On this show, we've got a whole new set of demands from Prince Andrew. Plus, Matt Gaetz' associate pleads guilty. Michael Rapaport versus a RiteAid shoplifter. Kim Kardashian accused of photoshopping. Spotify chooses Joe Rogan over Neil Young. No surprise there. Howard Stern begs Meatloaf's family to discuss vaccines. Obama to the Supreme Court. Amy Schneider's 40-game streak on Jeopardy comes to a close. Minnie Mouse's first ever pantsuit is delivered to us. We've got Facegate. We've got Headgate. And
there's too many gates.
If there's enough gates. If I told
Matt
you there was
too many gates.
If I told you there was a that's right, I forgot Matt Gaetz. If I told you there was a species that we have no idea how it got here or how it continues to exist, would you believe me?
I think it's the podcaster, if I had to guess.
It's a good
guess.
How
did they get here?
What do they we don't know how eels produce. It's a fascinating, pothead-worthy conversation that we're going to have at the end of the
Very strange. I didn't know this. I assumed, all right. I assumed like everybody else, they just reproduce.
Yeah, they do not.
We don't know.
We know how J-Sabs reproduces. It's with homeless men. Let's get the show underway.
Oh,
all right.
What happened to 8:15? Go ahead, go ahead.
Prince Andrew. He is defiantly denying 41 of the accusations levied against him from Virginia Jeffrey Roberts. He submitted a document today containing all 41 denials. The Prince also says that he lacks sufficient information to admit or deny 40 claims, which is pretty fascinating. The Duke of York's legal team requested that he be granted a trial by jury in the U.S., which is a real PR move because Virginia Jeffrey also requested a trial by jury. The Royal also claims that Ghislaine Maxwell was not a close friend of his in the legal papers. This comes after Andrew's motion to have the case thrown out was denied in January. Prince Andrew himself may very well be forced to take a stand in New York this year. So this is the absolute latest. This huge document with 41 denials in it, and then he follows it up with he doesn't have the sufficient evidence to deny all 40 claims.
I mean, what?
Don't try and make sense of it.
All right, I was about to, but no, I guess not. I don't know what evidence you like. If you didn't do it, you didn't do it. That's your. I mean, I don't know what evidence you can produce for that, but that should be enough. If you're on the I didn't do it side, then it's like I'm just flat out denying them because I didn't do it.
Yeah. He also submitted 11 defenses calling for the case to be dismissed, including that Miss Roberts' claims should be barred by her own wrongful conduct and, quote, unclean hands, end quote. The royal, his decision to go ahead with the case puts him in a contravention with the royal family, whose sources say are desperate for him to settle and avoid the spectacle of trial in New York later this year during the Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebrations.
Ooh, Platinum Jubilee.
Happy Platinum Jubilee. Your son's a pederast. A source said that Andrew is on a collision course with the palace over this. Earlier this month, the Queen swiftly and ruthlessly forced Andrew to step down from his remaining royal patronages and demanded he fight the case as a quote-unquote private citizen. So shit is going down, baby.
Let it go down.
Baby, are you down?
We're going to cover it all on this podcast. So make sure you guys are subscribed. Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, wherever you listen or watch. Make sure you're subscribed up. Also, hit the thumbs up on YouTube, damn it. We've been talking so much about the V word having to do with the C word. We have been getting
vagina
shadow banned so bad. So need the thumbs up. Need you guys to share. Please keep that going.
Right.
Topic number 2, Matt Gaetz.
This guy.
An associate of his who just happens to be in radio. So I automatically feel like this guy's a piece of shit.
Hey, that's a little.
Florida Shock Jock in Matt Gaetz' circle pleads guilty. Big Joe Ellicott, a former Florida Shock Jock, and a potentially key information witness about the trafficking ring involving Matt Gaetz, has pled guilty in federal court, according to the Daily Beast.
He pled guilty to what? To
Ellicott is a longtime friend of corrupt Florida tax official Joel Greenberg, who was Gaetz' wingman in the underage SEX operation.
Oh, God, SEX.
According to several sources with direct knowledge of their relationship, last year, the Daily Beast revealed that Ellicott knew intimate details about the teenage girl who was paid for by the group and actually texted what essentially amounted to a confession that they were scrambling to try to cover up. Ellicott was particularly legally exposed through his involvement with Greenberg, who ran the small Central Florida tax agency like a fiefdom, where he hired his friends for no-show jobs. That appears to be what took Ellicott down. Court documents last week, Ellicott said that Ellicott was accused, I should say, of fraud for agreeing to pay bribes and kickbacks to a public official and a separate drug crime, illegally selling the attention deficit hyperactivity disorder prescription medication Adderall. Let me take a breath. On January 18th, Ellicott signed a plea agreement admitting to both crimes. According to prosecutors, Ellicott was the intermediary in the kickback arrangement, carrying $6,000 in cash for a bribe from an unnamed tax office contractor to a public official, Greenberg in this case.
That's a lot of nasty stuff.
He also copped to selling the Adderall. John Zwick, an attorney for Ellicott, told the Daily Beast that his client has been cooperating in the sex trafficking case against Gaetz.
Ooh.
I wonder when the hammer's going to fall.
It's got to be.
Just going to walk in and just cuff him.
I mean, is there any way? Remember the Gaetz thing with Tucker Carlson when he was on Tucker Carlson, and he's like, "What is this all about?" And he's like, "Oh, you were with the. Remember, I brought the girl to dinner." And he was
and he's like, "No, don't remember that."
Yeah.
Immediately deny.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but was that like the last time he was on his show?
Probably.
Yes,
like,
it was.
That guy's not allowed on again.
Yeah.
No
more Matt Gaetz.
No more Matt Gaetz. He did not get an invitation.
Don't book him anymore.
Yeah. Not at all. Michael Rapaport versus the RiteAid shoplifter after we do Jumpstart Coffee Company.
What? Because I think this is hysterical.
Anthony's, look at that, he's drinking it right out of the Anthony on air mug. It's a beautiful thing.
I'll tell you what, it wasn't their intention, but Jumpstart Coffee Company goes good with a little Zambuca. I mean, works really well with alcohol.
Interesting. I want to try sprinkle it on, I don't know, like steak. They do a nice rub.
They do a coffee rub. Yeah. That'd be good on ribs too.
Ooh.
You know what I love? Coffee ice cream.
Oh, I agree.
I bet you maybe that's what I'll do. We got a Nor'easter coming this weekend. Maybe that's what I'll do. Brew up some Jumpstart and then mix it up with some, what do you do? Heavy cream or something?
No, I think you actually have to put coffee in ice cream that you're making. Like you have to make it from that way. Like you can't put the coffee in after.
No, I'm saying like if I brew up the coffee, how do I make ice cream out of it? Do I just add some heavy cream and then just mix it up with it, tumble it around in the ice cream maker?
I don't know.
You're asking me?
I don't know how to make ice cream. I'm sure there's a.
All right, I'm gonna find it.
There's a YouTube video or a Google.
I've never made ice cream before.
Really?
You know how I would do it. Yeah. I would just buy vanilla ice cream and mix it in.
It won't be.
Is that wrong? Is that?
I don't think it would be as good. I think you got to control.
Should I not have done that?
You got to control the level of cream that you put into the coffee.
That's what she said.
You don't want to overpower.
And you do have to always control.
Yeah.
The amount of cream.
I agree.
Well, apparently I only know how to make Hot Pockets. You didn't get that joke either. Okay.
What?
Not you. Someone else in our group, because I made fun of.
Oh, yes. I got it now.
You know what I don't understand? Why there isn't more coffee ice cream or any served at like restaurants. You know, people at the end of dinner, you get the coffee, you get the dessert menu. Coffee ice cream, I think, would be a big hit for a lot of people that, maybe they don't want to do a coffee and a cake, but you get a nice bowl of coffee ice cream.
You know what? I don't like to be on your side this early in the show, but I have to agree with you. That is a really good point.
Yeah, I would like to see that more in restaurants.
There should be more coffee ice cream. You're right.
I never
There's
see
chocolate, vanilla,
it. They do.
plentiful.
Sure.
Every now and then, I feel like if people want to kick it up a notch, they'll throw in a pistachio
Right.
as the third
Coffee
option.
ice cream, I feel like would be a natural.
Yeah, coffee ice cream should be in that lineup. You're right.
Anybody out there who runs a restaurant, coffee ice cream to the menu, I think would be a big hit.
Yes. Also, if you have an ice cream recipe, please email it to me, put it in the comments below, or tweet it on over.
Yeah.
All our links are at anthonyair.com. I might make some Jumpstart coffee ice cream this weekend.
That would be awesome. We could do like a taste test. Maybe put it in the comments so we all know how to do it.
We got the nor'easter coming. I got nothing to do. It's all day Saturday, but stay at home. So I've made ice cream 2 ways. I had an ice cream machine at one point. I don't know what that is. But you can also, there's a way to do it where like you get like a big can and you fill it with ice and salt for some reason. And then you put all your ingredients like cream and whatever you're making the ice cream out of, you put it in another jar and you put it inside the can and then you just roll it for a little while. And for whatever reason, the ice and the salt bouncing around on the outside of the container freezes it and it gets like soft servy. And then you put that in the freezer and that's how you make ice cream.
Really?
You put like sugar and milk and whatever ingredients you want, and that's how you make ice cream. Like the ghetto way.
I try it.
Yeah, so
I've seen the only videos I've seen of people making ice cream. You ever see those people have like that big stone and they have like the 2 scrapers and they pour like milk or cream and then it's like ice and they scrape it up and they chop up the ingredients in it. I feel like that would be like the coolest and easiest, fastest way to make it. But again, you got to get one of them giant stones.
You just
I feel like it's just ice and cream, no? And
sugar.
I don't know though.
Lots of sugar.
And whatever ingredient you want.
You just reminded me that I haven't been to Cold Stone Creamery.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
as soon as he
years.
said that, I was like, oh man, I gotta go to Cold Stone.
Yeah.
You know, did I work there? I can't remember if I worked there because I worked at Ben and Jerry's. We know that.
Worked at Ben and Jerry's?
Yeah, remember with the whole I froze chocolate bananas with the peel on it.
Right. That's right. I forgot.
So you don't remember singing when people tipped you?
I can't remember. Did I work? No, I don't think I worked. I think I just worked at Ben and Jerry's.
Do you remember mixing ice cream on a stone in front of people?
I do. So that's why I'm like, oh my God, did I? Maybe I did. Exactly. Maybe I dreamt it.
All right. We all have weird memories,
I'll ask my mom. She'll know.
All right.
Classic Jason.
Imagine I dreamt that.
You dreamt
and I'm like,
working.
oh no, I worked there for years.
You know, for who you are, you have some pretty lame dreams.
I know, right?
All right. Anyway, 15% off your Jumpstart Coffee Company order, which you could do with the link in the description below. When you use the promo code AOA15, support Jumpstart Coffee Company. 50% of their proceeds goes to the Navy SEAL Foundation. So you purchase a bag, you'll be supporting this podcast, Jumpstart Coffee, and the people that fight for your very freedom. So it's a very, very nice thing to do.
And you got to do the subscribe and save, where they just they send it to you. You don't even have to think about it.
Nope.
Excellent point, my friend. Excellent point.
Good stuff.
Michael Rapaport just going super viral today. The video actually sucks. I'm not going to share the video with you, but I'll share some of the audio. I'll play it into the mic here.
It's very strange.
He basically is filming a guy walking out of a RiteAid with a bunch of like just walks right out. He filled his bag of shit and just walks straight out of the store. You see a security guard in the footage, and nobody stops this guy. Oh, I guess he doesn't comment. I'm sorry, I pulled up the wrong one.
You pull up a different one?
I must have pulled up the different one before he ran his fucking big queen's mouth that he's got, which I love so much.
Yeah, it is amazing. Right. So the guy, he apparently observed the guy for a while, filling up his bags. And when the video starts, the guy is in an aisle on his way out the door. So you don't actually see him shoplifting or putting anything in a bag, but you see him with bags walking straight out.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, there's the video.
It was on TV before, and I was telling my mom, and she goes, in your guy's old hood, the Walgreens people keep doing the same exact thing, and nobody does anything. Like, there's nothing done. And it's like, I understand that people are scared, that they think that, the person robbing might have a gun, but like also people don't care about the jobs anymore. They don't. They're like, I'm not going to go above and beyond just because someone wants to steal something, which is crazy. Yeah. I couldn't hold back. I couldn't.
Have we talked about this before? I feel like we've talked about this before.
I feel like
yes, because I saw someone doing years ago where me and my friend were in a clothing store for kids, and these two women came in, grabbed off the racks a whole bunch of clothes, opened up the garbage bag and just threw it in, and they ran because at that time people cared about actually working. So it was like, I want to say it was 20 years ago. But me and my friend were like, what the
I watched this video that Rapaport filmed, and I got serious deja vu. I feel like this happened.
This did happen with the guy on the bike. Ago? No, it happened more. It happened more recent than that.
Yeah, the guy on the bike. That's right.
He was on a bike. He ran his bike through. He filled his bag up and he ran out. Right.
He just took off. Was it Rapaport again?
Imagine. No. People don't care though. That's the problem.
And I feel like that's so. Because I was like, I've heard this before where these stores don't care. And I feel like now that we're talking about, I feel like the comments were filled with people saying these CVS's and RiteAids and Walgreens just don't give a shit. Like it's their policy to not stop these people, which is kind of true because a rep for RiteAid told TMZ earlier, I'll read this and I quote, the safety of our customers, and after this went super viral today, this is what they said. The safety of our customers and employees is our top priority, and we are grateful that no one was harmed in this situation. We are in the process of conducting a full investigation and will work with local law enforcement to identify and pursue this offender.
It's probably easier to get the guy, or less of a hassle and less of a risk to get a description of the guy and get him afterwards, that rather than confront him and there'd be a huge confrontation.
Here's the rest of what they said. Like all retailers, we've seen a much higher level of brazen shoplifting and organized retail crime over the last year. Organized retail crime.
Yep.
Sounds a little more sophisticated than it probably is.
La Cosa Nordstrom.
Yes. Line of the day.
And we are taking an active role in helping law enforcement pursue these offenders, as well as working with other retailers and local leaders to push for stronger legislation to deter these types of crimes. I bet you that's what it is. That at the end of the day, shoplifting is probably zero worth of what are you going to get? 2 weeks in jail? A $500 fine or some shit like that?
2 weeks, maybe overnight.
Like, yeah, that's why maybe that's why they're not stopping anybody, because they're like, what's the point? They're only gonna.
I believe it's a misdemeanor.
Is that what it is?
And then if you go above a certain amount, it's a felony, but it has to be over a lot of money.
Like $1,000 probably.
No, I think it's more than that.
It's more than 1,000.
I believe so.
Well, you know what it is. You're right. It's the risk for the shoplifter is minimal, it seems, according to the law, apparently. And the risk, for an employee to stop the guy, you're making whatever. Do you want to really tackle him?
But aren't you surprised that in our old neighborhood that they wouldn't try to stop him? Because I am.
Well, a lot of older folks.
Janine's making a reference because in our old neighborhood, we had one of those neighborhoods where people kind of took care of their own shit. Didn't necessarily worry about cops getting cops involved. It was more like, we'll patrol our own.
Yeah, but I don't know.
I feel like there's a lot of older folk in that neighborhood, and the chances of anybody being around that will actually be able to do something.
No. I would say not people in the store, but employees that work there. They're younger. I would say. But again, people don't care anymore about their jobs. So
yeah, I mean, it's one thing to care about what you do, but it's another thing to jump on, to stop a guy whose intention is to get the hell out of there and stop at nothing to get out of there. I mean, you're right. Yeah, you have to think about of course, you want to do the right thing. You want to stop the guy from stealing, but you don't know what the guy's going to do.
I don't know.
Security guard there. He should have said something or done something.
One time I shoplifted and I took a toothbrush And then the owner of the store
I hate him.
yelled at Jimmy to
I hate him.
Stop
I hate him.
that boy.
Yeah.
Did you drop both your bags?
Hold on,
full
that
of
wasn't me.
things?
That was the plot of Home Alone. I forgot.
I know.
Before-
That's not
Before
the
anybody puts an APB out for Anthony.
But I think also people are more inclined to let this shit go at a national chain as opposed to like
Mom and pop
an
place.
independent store where it's like, oh, I know the owner. In this particular case, who really get like Janine's kind of right. Like up and down the line, from the security guard to the store employee, all the way up to whatever corporate person put this thing out. Who really gives a shit?
Yeah, and I feel like the security guard is there as a deterrent. Like you see a security guard, you're supposed to think, all right, I can't do anything. But in reality, the guy, you know, what is he? He's at last resort. He's not going to, can't arrest you.
This
He's not a
security
cop.
guard was more in danger of getting hurt by Michael Rapaport as he was moving his camera to film than he was from the actual robber. That's how ineffective he was.
I'm sure the robber, the robber could, for all I know, he was just looking to get some stuff and leave. He probably wasn't violent, but you don't know. You don't know if the guy is going to be a nut.
But don't you think this is going to cause a mass?
I hope not.
Increase.
Well, it already has. It already has. Because they know people are not going to do anything, so they're like, "Well, now I'm going to be able to." Like that's why I hate to say it, but that's why baby formula has started to go behind locked cases.
Is that why? Because
it's a high price item.
I'll tell you what. There's nothing
razors
more,
too.
There's nothing. Yeah, I was just gonna say. There's nothing more annoying than going to a store and waiting for somebody to have to fucking unlock a case.
Oh.
You okay?
No, I hit my toe before, and now I'm looking at it, and it's blue.
The nail or the whole toe?
When I was leaving RiteAid before, I hit my toe. I was in a hurry.
Did you pick up some ace bandages on the way out? Yeah.
People. So like this, and in certain places, like deodorant is behind.
Yeah, I went to CVS. Deodorant. I had to get someone with a key to open the freaking thing. I'm like,
this is annoying. See, this is driving me crazy.
What they do is they see in certain areas what are high price items that are stolen.
But there's so many other things on the shelves that are much more expensive. There's medicine everywhere. People could throw into their bags.
Nope.
It's like $25 for a thing of aspirin. You know.
Wait a minute. Did I ever tell you what my ex-coworker's husband used to take from the store?
Your ex-coworker's husband? No.
And she was 1,000% serious. Her husband said that he feels that Tylenol and Advil and pain relievers should be free. So anytime he would go to CVS, if he had to buy something else, he would pocket the Tylenol and the pain relief. So he would legit just steal it. I can't tell you how my jaw dropped to the floor because I was like, wait, what?
I'll tell you what, those things are expensive as shit now.
They got a lot, they did get more expensive, but he just thought it was his right that he just could that's his thing. And also, I guess he has a problem stealing, but I might have said this before.
Also, he's just a flat out thief.
He's a giant thief.
Like he wouldn't not pay for anything else. It was just the pain relievers. But
move to Canada.
They've never. She said she can't remember the last time she paid for napkins.
What the hell is going on with that?
Anytime that they went to a fast food restaurant or a regular restaurant, and they would take all the napkins that they could because he didn't think you should have to pay for napkins.
Hold on, did you used to work with my parents?
No, I'm not talking about a few. I mean, like they would empty the quick grab.
I guess technically that's not stealing, but
that's
it's
stealing.
Well, they're free, and you could use as many as you need, but it's abusing the free napkin system.
Yeah, I mean,
it's technically not stealing, I don't think, because they're free anyway. You can take as many as you want. But
Could you just imagine that?
the aspirin thing is definitely.
Could you just imagine just going into CVS and just going, oh, okay, I got to pick up some stuff. I'll have some Hershey Kisses. I'll get some deodorant and here's some Tylenol. Just put it in your fucking pocket, like,
So- So he's that guy that every time I'm in CVS, the thing beeps and the guy just walks out.
He's like, no, my stuff in my bag.
Pardon me, we neglected to deactivate the blah 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 blah.
But isn't that nuts? Like, I'm not even. I'm not lying about that. And she was not either. She was almost proud of it.
That is ridiculous. Your friend needs to
Oh, I didn't say
paying for
friend. I said
coworkers,
coworker.
ex-coworkers, friend, whatever, needs to start paying for their medication.
Oh no, he won't.
That's ridiculous.
Uh-uh.
I mean, you can't just.
Just because he said, I don't think you should have to. But obviously, there's people out there who don't think that they should have to pay for anything. Hence this video.
I mean, there's no reason for that. You got to pay for things. That's just what it
That's
comes down to.
Called
But
we're living in a society.
I kid you not. Like, my parents had a whole drawer filled with napkins and straws that my mother would steal from places.
Ketchup packets.
But I'm
Like-
sure your mother bought napkins from the store.
No, I
No,
can't
she
remember
didn't?
the last time she did.
That's funny. Okay.
I cannot remember the last time she did. And they're just all mismatched napkins. And like, there were so many at one point. I said to her, I hope you live a long and fruitful life. But
So you can
these-
experience all these.
Yeah, these are going to outlive you no matter what. I mean, if you live for 100 years, you're never going to go through all these napkins and straws.
Was it like every now and then there'd be a stack of yellow ones from like Roy Rogers?
And like brown ones from Panera and like
Weird
it's-
colored
Yeah.
ones. And,
Yeah.
that's fun. Every now and then. Which one are we going to use tonight?
I don't know. But I don't know. I foresee a lot of bad things happening here because I think people are going to start stealing a lot more. Like, you're going to get like people that are desperate to stealing. You're going to get kids who just are going to be like, oh, just be dickhead kids going to go out and steal this shit now. And then I think you're also going to get a case where there's going to be some fucking citizen, who's going to be like, I'm not going to allow this shit to happen on my watch. He's going to wind up popping one of these people in a fucking store because he's stealing shit.
Yep.
It's going to escalate and, who knows? Yeah, it's going
I'm
to
going to be one of those people.
I understand it, but there's got to be some attempt of like set an alarm off or do something. I'm not saying that people have to risk their lives for a box of condoms, but do something to be like, you're on camera, we're going to catch you, like something.
Yeah. Well, I think at the very least there would be, see, now it's harder with the masks and everything. Everybody's covered up, but their photo, you're banned from this place,
Like at the liquor store when they steal?
Anything, whatever. You just
Why do they do that though?
You put the photo up and say you can't come in here. If you do, we'll call on the cops.
No, and I get like, hey, nobody approach these people because we have them on camera and we'll find them. But like you said, a couple of masks and a hoodie and a hat and whatever, and how's anybody gonna ever fucking identify them?
Also, they're not gonna care. That's the biggest thing. They don't. They would probably go back there even if their picture was up because they don't care. Because you've seen the repeat offenders at liquor stores too.
But I have. How often are you at a liquor store where you see repeat thieves coming in and out?
No, I haven't on their picture on the wall.
So you see their picture on the wall and you see them in the store.
No. I mean, like, you've seen multiple pictures of them there.
Multiple pictures of the same person?
Yep.
One time I bounced a check accidentally at a bodega and they put it up on the wall for a long time.
That sounds like a Seinfeld
Is your
thing.
name Little Jerry?
That wasn't me. You're right. That was Seinfeld. Kim Kardashian has been accused of photoshopping her photos. Stop the presses.
Oh, no. What? What are we going to do?
This is so weird.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I mean, I think we all know she photo. That's not the shock to me. The shock to me is that she's still shitty enough at it to get caught.
Right.
I saw the Did you see the photo?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, I saw it, and it is bad.
I didn't see it.
And she took it to her credit. She posted it and then immediately took it down.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if you've been photoshopping your shit for, a decade and a half, know what you're doing.
Fired.
Look at her leg.
That's bad.
Oh, wait. I did see this, but I didn't know this was...
I don't
get
understand.
it.
Yeah, you see the calf muscle on her right leg?
Like, look at how,
You see how below the knee it's all thin where the meaty part of the calf should be.
Oh,
See,
yeah,
on
that
her
doesn't
left
look
leg.
good.
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't look good. Oops.
That's pretty bad. I mean, does she doesn't do it herself? I'm sure she has people that does that.
You would think. Who knows though? I mean, she might just pop that kind of shit up by herself now. I don't. I know she has people. I know she does. But if she's on vacation and she's at an island, she might be just doing it herself.
Not only that, I mean, that's a weird place to Photoshop.
Right.
The back of your calf muscle.
Because I also think that it's not like she's sitting there on Photoshop like legit doing it. I also think there's these like apps now that just will
there's these quick little apps, right?
Just suck everything in, so it's kind of hard to see if one part of that is a little uneven.
Granted, but I feel like if you're Kim Kardashian and your whole business, your whole life, the whole is photos of yourself, you feel like you get it right more often than not. I mean, this is one. I mean, there are other examples of her Photoshop mishaps with her, I feel. But, yeah, they're going to happen. They're going to slip through the cracks. But I feel like there should be, there's got to be a team with her, not at all times. But if you're going to post something, use a little more sophisticated technology than
she's
a filter.
Like in the Caribbean, I think she's just kind of like on the fly, like,
Well, she probably had PDD all night. So, I mean, do you blame her?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pete Davidson, do it.
This is what happens when you have Staten Island dick on you.
Thank you. That's what I was trying to say nicely, but
again, that's a weird spot to Photoshop. I can't imagine what was so bad with that right calf that she felt she needed to Photoshop it. I'm sure.
Again,
the way
like I said,
it naturally looks is probably fine.
It's not that. I think when you put it's like a whole photo filter and it just kind of like sucks it all in. And this is what happens if you don't go through and look at the whole entire thing that you're doing.
Like it automatically just fixes.
Yes.
Right. I guess.
Yeah. I think
she just a little haphazard for her though.
She like pinches her tummy in and then like widens her ass out a little bit and then pinches her legs in and
exactly.
Again, that's a little haphazard. I mean, you're posting a couple of pictures a day. Maybe take an extra 5 minutes if you want to Photoshop. I don't think she should be Photoshopping at all. She probably would look perfectly fine in these pictures without the Photoshopping.
Here's the other thing. You're on vacation. Take a fucking vacation. Your life is posting photos. On your vacation, you should stop doing what your life is.
Right.
Well, I think a lot of her brand is that she has to keep posting these things or else, she has
what they do, she's not on vacation though anymore. This was like 2 weeks ago. So that's what they do. They like to post these pictures a couple of weeks after
when they get back.
Yeah.
Oh, then it's even less of an excuse. Then she should have really known what was going on.
Yeah, she could have still had PDD at home.
But I think she shouldn't touch her photos. Let them, I'm sure
Thank
she
God
looks
you
fine.
said photos. I thought you were going somewhere else.
No. I think she
shouldn't touch her pool.
I'm sure she looks just fine without Photoshopping. I don't know why.
I don't think she does. She looks horrible.
Does she?
No, I'm sure she does.
Okay.
I just here's the other thing too. Like, you don't. Have you seen her sister?
Which one?
In the commercial, there's what was the
Chloe?
old one? Chloe?
Oh, she's eating popcorn.
Fucking unrecognizable. Yeah,
she I don't think she looks great. I think she looks
like a mannequin.
She looks fake, really fake now.
And I think her kid's in the commercial too.
Oh, I didn't see it.
I'm just like, this kid must have nightmares, dreaming about these fucking huge moon lips coming at her fucking face all the time.
It just does. Yeah, they looked fine before they started messing with surgery. I mean, if you want to do surgery, do surgery, but it's weird to, it just doesn't look natural.
Give it a rest already. Whatever. Yeah, I mean, they're gonna look like shit when they're fucking 70. They are going to look like.
But they're not gonna stop with the surgeries, probably.
No.
And I still think Kim Kardashian, she's an attractive girl. I think she's hot still, but it's like, holy shit, what the fuck?
Yeah, I know.
But she's not touching. I mean, that we can really tell. She doesn't really go to her face. She doesn't alter. She hasn't altered her face much, as far as I can tell.
No, but
God, did I break my tongue?
She does. What do they call it? The duck lip. This isn't Dutch duck lips. What are you doing when you suck your cheeks in?
Fish.
Yeah.
Fish
she
lips?
sucks. Look, Janine's doing it. Yeah, she does the. Janine's got it nailed down. Ooh.
Yeah, but that's not
I went the wrong way. Hold on.
Yeah, but
I meant
that's
to do
not
that.
fake.
There we go.
At least that's not fake. That's just posing. You pose however you want. Okay.
No, I do.
Anybody else seriously uncomfortable in that couple seconds?
I'm uncomfortable with how natural Janine. She was like, "Oh, finally, this show is going where it's supposed to go."
Finally, it's on me. making fish lips.
A couple days ago, Neil Young said Joe Rogan is spreading misinformation. You either choose between me or him. And Spotify today said, "Okay, choose him."
I mean,
the bigger paycheck is definitely going to be Rogan.
Yeah,
shocker.
I mean, we said this
30
last
years
episode.
ago, maybe.
Right, exactly. This ain't 77 anymore, Neil.
And I love Neil Young. I love his music. I love everything about the guy. But that was a losing ultimatum.
That's another artist that my boss used to play and just sing the songs, and I wanted to just take a gun and shoot myself.
That's nice. That's lovely.
I've told this story, but I got to do Farm Aid a couple of years ago, and I was in the pit. I was in the photographer pit, so literally leaning on the stage, and I got to see Dave Matthews that close, which is for me like mind blowing,
drooling.
But that night, fucking and Nathaniel Rateliff killed it. I thought Nathaniel was the best of the night. But to hear, like, Neil Young came on and he said, my guitar might be too loud for these amps. And he was not complaining, but he was like, I've never felt, like, physically felt music like I felt off of, like, it was like reverberating through our bodies. That's how fucking loud this guy was, him and his whole band.
Is that good?
It was unreal. No, it was great. I thought it was, like,
sometimes too loud can be too loud.
I was blown away by it. And when you're that close, you're getting the stuff from the stage that's like behind them. The other big speakers are or like up above those. That was for the rest of the crowd. We couldn't really hear that. So it was like you really like you felt it like reverberating through. It was crazy loud.
That's awesome.
And he was awesome. He was awesome.
All right.
But he had, like I said, we said last episode, you got 6 million people. They're paying Joe Rogan $100 million a year to house his podcast. This is to me, how can you even throw that challenge out there when you know you're gonna fucking lose?
Yeah, that's
doesn't make sense.
I mean, the guy took a stand. I get it. He doesn't need Spotify, I'm sure. Neil Young's doing just fine without it, I think. Probably doesn't have to sell another record for the rest of his life. He
doesn't. And so I get, standing up, but then be like, you know what? I'm pulling my shit off. He literally said it's him or me. And Spotify is removing his stuff, not his record label, not him. Spotify is like, okay, if that's how you feel, we'll take your shit off.
Well, yeah, that's who's going to do it.
I think it makes him look really, really bad. I don't know.
Hey, the guy took a stand.
Bad look. Somebody else who took a stand was Meatloaf. Not vaccinated and died from COVID. Now Howard Stern's making some news because he wants Meatloaf's family to speak out about COVID-19 vaccines, and he believes that the late singer got sucked into a cult.
A cult?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what he said.
Meatloaf griped that masks were useless last year. They don't do anything to stop you from getting COVID. They're just a nuisance. They make your nose itch and they make it so you can't breathe. He added, if I die, I die, but I'm not going to be controlled. And then he eventually died from COVID. And now Stern is saying that he would love it if his family would speak out, saying, quote, I wish the family would come forward and say, when Meatloaf was laying there in the hospital and he couldn't breathe, and he said, I made a mistake. I should have taken the vaccine like all the anti-vaxxers. They all say, I made a mistake.
We don't know that he said that. He probably did. Meatloaf.
That's Stern putting words in. But he's basically saying, like, now's the time for Meatloaf's family to come forward because the guy would still be alive had he taken the vaccine.
But the thing is, first thing, what if they don't believe in that? What if they don't believe that?
Even though someone died from COVID.
Well, they never exactly said he 100% died from COVID.
They did.
No, they didn't. They said he had COVID, but they didn't say he died from it.
Hold on. Let's
And
look it up.
even if he died from it, if his family like doesn't believe, like, it's kind of going against what he said, and now he's dead. I don't think that's like really correct. I don't know.
She said,
everything
according to this, the widow of Meatloaf, Deborah Gillespie, issued a statement following his passing, writing, "The grief I feel over the loss of my husband is gut-wrenching." However, she did not specify how her husband of nearly 15 years died.
Let's see. I mean, everything I look at, how did Meatloaf die? How did Meatloaf die? Everything is saying COVID, COVID, COVID. I just want to see. It says Meatloaf cause of death. Everything says COVID.
I mean, he had COVID. That would be a miracle. I mean, again, like Janine said, I get what you're making a good point. Like, the guy was a drug addict. He was way out of shape and all this other stuff. But he would probably still be alive if he didn't catch this virus.
All the more reason to not get COVID or to get vaccinated before you get COVID. If you're that, if you've led that kind of life, you're probably more at higher risk, I'm sure, of complications, no?
I mean, I guess so, but if he didn't, I'm just saying, if he didn't believe in it personally, then maybe I don't think his family should come out and say that.
I mean, I'm sure his family. I think his point isn't his family pissed
that he didn't get it because he was so overweight and had drug problems and alcohol problems.
I mean, the high risk people should really get it. No.
Well, no. Yes, they should.
I mean, I get the young, healthy athletes that are like, I don't want to do this. Okay. Right. You got an argument there. Again, I may not agree, but you got an argument there. If you're fucking Meatloaf,
right?
Somebody's got to sit you down.
Maybe you should get it. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, that's
I think
call.
Howard Stern went off the deep end though about the vaccine stuff. He really.
I think he's saying. Like now he's sort of saying, well, now that he's died from COVID, he's saying, well, he can't take back his statements about the vaccine. So should someone that knew him say it?
I don't know.
There's a trending story right now on Twitter, which is that Joe Biden should nominate President Obama to the Supreme Court. Now, you know me. I am the internet's ultimate fact checker. I like to tweet out.
Fact checker or fat checker?
Well, both.
Jeez.
Both. I do check out the facts.
Shots fired.
I like to check out the facts on the internet and tell you if they are true or not. Okay. And then I give it the little green check mark on Twitter and let you know I have fact checked this and it is true. I have fact checked this and it is dumb. That has been confirmed.
Dumb.
I don't think you can technically make a former president a Supreme Court justice. Yes. Why on earth would you, or would he even agree to it, is fucking beyond.
Why would he want to? Unless he wants to. What is he? Maybe he does, but I doubt it.
Why?
Why would anybody?
I don't know. It's like, why would Trump run for president? It doesn't make sense. You're on fucking easy street. You did all the hard work already. Now it's time for fucking pina coladas and nooners. You know what I'm saying? It's time for matinee sex, baby. And just lying around and catching up on fucking Price is Right and all that shit.
Matlock.
Matlock, yeah.
Barack
this
Obama
guy
definitely doesn't need to do it.
He just signed. He signed like a $60 million Netflix deal to produce what knows kind of. I don't even know.
Oh.
I haven't even seen any of it. I heard one thing came out. I don't even remember what the fuck it was. I don't think anybody watched it. Doesn't matter. It was, they got the headline that day, and that's all Netflix needed. That they got Obama and Michelle, and they're producing some shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what. I mean, it's a fact. It might be dumb, but
she's another one, Michelle Obama. I've not checked, but I have not heard a peep about her podcast. That was another one that was like, Michelle's got a podcast. Michelle's got a podcast. And I listened to the first episode, I think, with him on it.
Oh.
How was it?
It stunk.
Okay.
What
did they talk about?
They talked. There was a couple of nice moments. It was way overproduced. There was like a fucking 35-second acoustic guitar interlude every 2.5 minutes for editing. It was awful.
No
awful.
thanks.
You could be a great person. You could be a phenomenal world leader. It doesn't mean that you could do this.
No.
Well, he's qualified. I mean, he's not a judge, but he knows the law. He was a lawyer. I guess do you have to be anybody? I guess could be nominated for the Supreme Court. I don't know what the qualifications are technically, so I don't. So I stand corrected. I don't know if he's qualified. So because I don't know what the qualifications are.
Yeah.
So it's smart.
It's just dumb.
Yeah.
Like I feel like this is the kind of shit that they write into the West Wing and fucking House of Cards.
It would be a dramatic twist, a M. Night Shyamalan twist.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna sit on the fucking Supreme Court to
re-enter the ring.
Stupid.
I just got out.
You're out. Enjoy yourself. By the way,
I don't see that happening at all.
I did Wordle for the first time.
Oh God. Okay.
I'm addicted.
Are you?
Yeah.
How does it work now? Is it one new puzzle every day?
Every day, one.
Every day they put out a new puzzle.
Right.
I'm kind of fucking fascinated by this now.
I'm a little pissed off. It's only one a day. It should be one like every 4 hours.
Yeah. So I was Googling Wordle this morning. I didn't click on it, but I saw one of the first links that came out was this thing where it was like every Wordle puzzle with the answers till like 2024. Like somebody
who would want that?
Got a hold of it and it's like, here's every one of them.
Why would you want that?
I don't know. How did this start? I just started seeing people tweeting their little blocks, and I was like, what is this?
It's just a game. You go to the website. You don't even have to download anything. You just go to the website, and you plug in any random 5-letter word you could think of.
It's always 5 letters?
Yeah. As far as I've seen, every time I play it like every day. So
this is so bizarre. Who the fuck came up with this? This is so bizarre.
I don't know. You go to it, you put in a 5-letter word, and then you got like 5 more chances to get the exact word that they want you to get. And it tells you which letters you got right, or if you got a letter right, but it's in the wrong spot, and you just have to figure it out. By the time you get to like the 6th chance, you have to get the word right.
Yeah, so here it is. There. So if you get a green letter, that's where that letter is in the word. If you get a gold letter, the letter is in the word, but not in the right spot. And if you get a gray letter, it's not in the word.
It's not in the word at all. Right.
And then this is the board that you get. Right.
So you got 6 chances. So you pick any random 5-letter word to start, and then you get 5 more chances to get it right. Are we playing now? Is that what we're doing? Because I played it before. There you go.
That's what I always start with.
That's good. And you got no letters. Good job.
All right, so that's Wordle. Amy Schneider ends her streak on Jeopardy.
That was a good one.
This is, what was the other guy that we're fucking stuck with now for the rest of our lives, who was almost the host? Fuck was his name? The nerdy guy.
Yeah.
That narrows it down.
The nerdy guy on Jeopardy.
Not Holtzauer, not James Holtzauer.
Well, actually, I think he usurped the other guy, the first guy.
But he wasn't up for being host.
Right, it was the other guy. What was his streak? Wasn't he at like 27 and we were all amazed by that?
It was a lot.
And now this one was 40? She had 40?
What is his name? Oh, this is going to kill me. I'm looking it up.
I think she blew kind of an easy one too.
She blew.
Do you
That's what she said.
Do you think that these things are not fixed? But do you think like at a certain point they kind of know what, like when these people go on these big runs, I feel like these are the only times that we really start talking about these shows in mass. Ken Jennings, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
How many did he win? Does it say? Wasn't it? I feel like 27 is in my head.
Look up everything here.
Yeah.
Wake up in the morning,
I kind of feel like, if they know, this is what Ken really is good at, or this is what Amy knows a lot of, I feel like they start to put those questions in for them.
Yeah.
Well,
like,
Ken
I'll make
Jennings,
them stay. Hey.
Right? Like they start to focus
Possible.
on those areas of their expertise to kind of.
Ken Jennings was 74 consecutive wins.
Oh, then why do we care about this one? She's only
because
40.
I think the money. Let me see.
The money amount?
The money might be where we.
Money.
Oh, okay. In terms of cash prizes, Schneider's haul is the number 4 biggest pot ever in terms of regular season earnings, behind Matt Amodio at 1.5 million, Holzhauer at 2.4 million, and Jennings at 2.5 million. So she was even 4th. Why do we give a shit about this person?
Because she was 4th. That's a pretty big deal,
Because
and it's a streak.
probably
That's a pretty good
because
streak.
it's a trans. Let's be honest.
What is that?
Right?
That's right. Amy's transgender. I forgot that she was
That
transgender.
had nothing to do with it. It was a great streak.
Well, I guess it's a
What?
big deal for transgender people. It's like, yeah, we're
It's
represented.
also
We're
a
killing it.
great step for transgender people. It's a great honor and recognition for a transgender person.
I say it's a step back. You want to be known for being on the cool shows,
you're a
not the
step
nerdy
back.
shows.
Or like Wheel of Fortune.
Like Wheel of Fortune. Yeah.
You're a
That's something I
giant
can get
step back.
behind. Blind luck.
Your nickname should be Step Back.
Minnie Mouse has her first ever pantsuit. This was a last minute addition to the show.
Good for her.
I find this fascinating. It was designed by Stella McCartney.
Okay,
Nice.
maybe it'll be better.
Isn't that
I
adorable?
saw it.
I just hate a
What's that?
pantsuit.
Well,
You hate a pantsuit?
why?
They're
I
uncomfortable
hate.
to wear?
I also don't like the
Hate
word
wearing them
pantsuit.
or the way they look.
Both. I never wear a pantsuit.
Right, but you also don't like the way people look in them.
Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, I just don't like them.
Right. What about mice? How do mice look in them?
That's a different story now.
Let's see. Designed by Stella McCartney. There's Minnie in her first ever pantsuit.
How nice.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Let's see. I don't know if I. Oh yeah.
Polka
That's,
dots and stripes, though. That's interesting.
I don't want to take Stella McCartney down, but can I say that using the word designed in this particular instance is a bit of a stretch?
I mean,
She
A
put
little
polka
bit.
dots on a
A
purple.
little bit.
She colored it
Polka
purple, but not for nothing, but my 4-year-old does this on an app on on the iPad.
yeah. I mean, did you need Stella McCartney? I guess. You know
Right.
what? You attach a big.
Mine
name
does
to it.
too.
Why not?
Yeah, yours does too, right, Janine? I
Yeah.
gotta say, the big move here is her bow is polka dot on one side and stripes on the other, and she does have a couple of stripes on the bottom of the pant.
Well, there you go. And on the cuffs of the
Yes, on the jacket.
suit and on the
Woo!
yeah. So yeah, I think it works. Works for her. Good for her.
All right, now let me put this out there, Janine. If Frank agrees to wear a MAGA hat, will you wear a pantsuit?
Ugh.
Is that a stretch for you?
That's a stretch.
It's a stretch for me. It's not worth it for me. I get nothing out of that.
You wouldn't wear a MAGA hat just to see her uncomfortable for an entire episode?
No, it's a pantsuit. It's not like you're wearing a MAGA hat. No, or anything unusual. It's
All right, but what if
nothing
the
weird.
pantsuit? What if the pantsuit said Joe Biden on it? Does that help at all?
No,
It would make her more miserable.
I don't relish Janine being miserable.
I think you do.
I don't.
I think you do. Well,
More?
Let's move
I think
along.
he means more miserable because I'm already going to be miserable wearing a pantsuit.
Let's move along to Facegate. Now, there was some harsh accusations levied last episode where Janine accused Frank of making faces
I don't
at
understand
her.
this at all.
Frank.
I don't make face. The only faces I make is if you say something I don't agree with. I go, oh, yeah.
Yeah, which
Weird.
is every episode.
I just make my normal reaction face. It's not a making fun of you face. It's just a reaction face. That's all. I'm not allowed to change my face when I react to something. It's
Absolutely
not
not.
it's not making fun of you face. It's just like if you say something that I disagree with, I go, or wow, what? It's not going, ooh, I'm not making fun of you. I'm just reacting. That's all. What face do I make that makes fun of you?
If I'm talking about something you don't like, which is usually the M word or the V word or the C word.
What's the M word?
Starts with M, ends in ask.
Oh, okay.
You usually, these faces are usually like this.
Yeah, that's just if you say something I don't agree with, I make a I don't agree face. That's all. It's not making fun of you face. It's not like, oh, look at this idiot, or I just react. That's all. It's just my reaction face. It's not a making fun of you face.
Okay.
I save that for when I'm off the camera.
Yeah, I know. After you go, you get the material from the show. You're like, all right, wife, it's time to come sit down.
Once I turn the camera off, I punch a hole in the wall every time.
I know. I know you
show.
do. I know.
You can't see the wall next to me here, but it's
Thank
like
God.
Swiss cheese.
How many times after an episode do you complain about me versus Janine to your wife? Like on a ratio, how many times is that first thing of you'll never believe what blank said? How many times is that me versus Janine?
You don't say anything.
Really?
Yeah. You're
So that means it's all Janine.
It's all Janine. I complain about Janine
100%.
the second I shut the camera off. I go, I don't really, by the time we get off the podcast, I usually, my wife is usually asleep. I don't really discuss, I don't complain that much. I punch things.
No, it's not complaining. It's just threatening lives. And that's totally different. I get it.
I can't really tell. And here's the other thing I've noticed. I have, and this will be evident in the next segment as well. For as much as I pay attention and analyze the show, especially like after, to make sure that we're hitting certain things, that we have a joke I do, do those kinds of things. I really am missing a lot of stuff, like the faces and the gaheads and
gahead is just part of our natural speaking.
That's
part of our vernacular.
That's insane. We're gonna get to that in a second because Real Convict Donald on Twitter put together quite a piece for us, which I am just bowled over and
it's a good one.
Glee about. But I just want to make sure, because I know obviously you guys disagree on a lot of those things that Janine just mentioned. I just want to make sure.
He said it right fast. He's like, you didn't finish.
No, we do disagree.
He's like, certainly.
You just said we disagree on things, and I said, yeah, certainly, we do.
Are you mad at Janine for her stance?
No, I'm not mad at her. I just strongly disagree. I'm not mad at her. Why would I be mad?
I think that, I'll tell you why. I think that
just because I have 100 holes in my wall doesn't mean I'm mad. No.
I think you're a caring person, and I think the fact that you can't...
I'm frustrated.
You can't get Janine on your side because you care about her maybe drives your annoyance a little bit.
You need the second part in there.
It's true, though. It's one of those things where it's frustrating when someone refuses to, it just dances their way out of a logical situation to me, my logical situation.
That was a little insult. I'm glad you said my logical situation.
When it disagrees with the way I see something, it frustrates me, but I don't hold it against the other person. I think that we disagree on these things, and I happen to think that you're incorrect on some of these things. So, yeah, that would frustrate me, but I'm not mad at you. I'm frustrated that a friend of mine wouldn't want to do something to stop a risk to her. Do you know what I mean? It's all out of care. Is my point. Does that make sense?
It makes sense to me. I think that's where it comes from. And I think Janine thinks that you think she's an idiot.
No, I just think she might be missing.
Am I wrong there, Janine? Because you seemed very angry last episode.
What?
I don't think. No, I think
Janine felt very angry last episode.
No.
What are you writing?
No. I'm gonna be backwards.
I don't think you're an idiot. I think you're misinformed on some things.
That was a polite way of calling somebody an idiot.
Hence, you think I'm an idiot, right?
No,
right.
I just think you have wrong information. Is all. That's all.
If it helps, I think you're both idiots.
That's true too.
Gate. This is.
That was incredibly sexist. Did not let me interject and give my feedback. But go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
no, please.
No, go ahead.
No,
go
we
ahead.
only need my opinion.
Go ahead.
Oh
Janine.
no, I have a headache. I'm not. right now,
I started to sense uncomfortableness. That's why I moved on.
because I wrote Bingo. I was
No,
talking
go
about
ahead.
the show, Bluey, the character Bingo.
Are you mad at Frank?
I really, like, right now, I really can't even. I have no strength.
You are mad at me? Why?
I'm not mad.
Because you're an idiot. Oh.
I'm
So
not
we're
mad,
not mad at
bruh.
each other. We just strongly disagree with each other. That's okay.
Right, because I'm misinformed. Go ahead.
I believe so, but you believe I'm misinformed, so that's okay. You don't
Do you
believe
think
I'm
you're misinformed?
Who?
Frank.
Do I believe I'm misinformed? No. If I believed I was misinformed, I'd get
Then he
the
wouldn't
right
agree with
information.
himself.
I would get
You guys talked over each other. Like I missed it.
If I thought I was misinformed, I'd get the right information. I wouldn't stick with my misinformation.
Because we were misinformed about the I word. First episode, that kind of came out.
What were we misinformed about?
We were calling it a horsey medicine.
Well, it is. Some of it is, and some of it's used for that, but it's not 100% used for that. We know that, so we got the right information. If you have the correct information, there's no need to. But if you have it wrong information, that would be why would you stick with that information?
I'm not saying you're wrong, but this is my issue with anybody who has a strong conviction on some of these topics, which is how do you know that the information is not going to change in the near future and it's going to become obvious that you're wrong?
If it does, I don't think it will, but if it does, then I will say I was wrong.
And you'll wear a MAGA hat?
No, but
I think you should. Also, on the same accord, Janine, if we find out that you're wrong, you should wear a pantsuit.
Oh my God.
A Biden pantsuit.
the research and the science
I wouldn't
just
care about
backs
that.
my side. That's all I'm saying. That's all. If I'm wrong about that, then the majority of scientists are wrong. So that's okay. I'm going to tell you.
Janine, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you don't want to talk about this now?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I don't like people saying I'm misinformed because I have a different opinion. That's it.
But it's not about opinion. That's the thing. It's nothing to do with my opinion. It's nothing to do with your opinion. It's about the science and the fact. It's like if you said the earth was flat and I said the earth was round, but studies show that it's round, your opinion and my opinion don't matter anymore. It's what the facts say.
Right,
What does
but
the facts say?
that's been proven over how many years? If
Not
people
according to
didn't
flat earthers.
if people didn't have different opinions, like doctors and researchers and scientists, then nothing would evolve. There
Absolutely.
would be. That's why when you go to a doctor and there's 7 doctors in the group,
You get different opinions. I get it.
every single one of them has a different opinion or a different way to do things.
Totally. But
And
when
there
you
are
get,
some credible doctors that are against a lot of these things. Some.
and if you get
Perhaps not the majority, but some.
98 people saying this one thing and 2 people saying another, you probably would go with the 98.
I mean,
No?
yeah, but it's not that just cut and dry with certain. I'm not talking about the C word. I'm talking about, in my mind right now, I'm talking about just science and things in general. Health wise.
I'm not saying that everybody gets it right all the time. There's people, but when the majority of the research and the science and the people who are in labs and doing all this stuff, when the majority of them say, this is going to help you and we know what we're doing and here you go. If it's not like, all right, go chop your head off, then it's probably, that I have no reason not to believe them. I would, you question things, but when everybody, like I don't know. If everybody says the sky is blue and I'm sitting here going it's green, yeah, it might look green to me. But when everybody else in the world is saying it's blue, I'd be like, well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is blue, and I'm just not seeing it. That's all. It's like you just go. The majority of science is saying one thing, and the minority is saying, maybe don't do this or don't do that, and that's, I feel like, just to simplify it for me, majority of the science is what I'm going by. That's my stance, I guess. That's all.
Okay.
And we could disagree. I'm not gonna. That's fine. Your mic is muted, Anthony. Your mic is muted.
He's not saying anything, I don't think.
I was saying something. I didn't realize my mic was muted.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see that far.
2 years later, and I still can't fucking figure it out.
At
At least I didn't start masturbating. It's one above that CNN guy.
Put that in the win column.
But that's a big win for me. All right. I think that Janine was hurt by all your faces.
I wasn't hurt by the faces.
If I
Annoyed by
made
the
faces, I
faces.
apologize, but I don't think I was. I didn't think I was.
All right. Well, everybody's going to keep a closer eye on it now. And I want people to shout it out in the comments if Frank is making an overly insulting face. Other than his normally insulting face, which is his face.
I have resting insult face.
Do you?
Say this face.
Yeah, I think so.
You mother.
All right.
So what's the next gate?
Go ahead, Gate.
I'm leaving after this gate, by the way.
After go ahead, you don't want to talk about the eels?
No, because honestly, I have to go put ice on my head and my toe that's
Did
broken.
we go over what happened to your toe?
Do you want to show your toe? I'm sure there's
No.
like 4 guys that are dying to see your fucking
That would
toes.
make their year.
Honey,
Yeah.
I ain't showing my toes unless I'm getting paid for it. Thanks.
OnlyFans?
Right.
Chase Ab toes?
Yeah, look for that then. That'd be a whole episode on OnlyFans.
That'd be great. So Real Convict Donald, he sent this in to us, and this was pointed out a little while ago about how much we say "go ahead," and we agreed to make merch, and we haven't yet, but it's on the
Dragging your ass
on the old to-do list there. But he just posted this to Twitter, and let me bring it up for everybody. Here is he put in
Oh God.
the guy from Rounders, Malkovich from Rounders. He edited in to our podcast.
Even given his last couple of
Very anti-Janine. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Very anti-Janine, which I'm surprised about.
Yep. Not cool. Have fun at the Christmas exchange. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You realize he said it. You know
I
what's
won't be
funny?
there.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Go
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh
What
yeah.
What were you talking about in that clip?
Even given his last
What were we talking about? The anti-Janine. There's an anti-Janine sentiment right now in the world. And
Yes.
In the world?
From your brother.
Anti-Janine from my brother.
in the group chat, your brother called out Janine pretty hardcore. We didn't talk about it. We moved on from it quickly.
Did I? I don't know if I saw. When was this?
I forgot what it was. What was it exactly? Was it Meatloaf thing?
It was a Meatloaf thing, and obviously, when I said it, I didn't like. I wasn't mad when I wrote it. I just said no, it couldn't. When your brother said in the group text, he died because he's an anti-masker and he's an anti-vaxxer, and I said jokingly, I really was joking. I said, no, you don't think it was his obesity or his drug and alcohol abuse?
And what was the response?
I don't know what his response was at that moment, but on Sunday he referenced that, talking about someone else, making fun of me.
I don't remember that. That's so far back in the text, I can't.
I don't want to throw fuel on this fire, but you're making a face right now, Frank.
Am I making a face?
I thought you were looking at me.
I don't think I'm making a face. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. There's an anti-Janine sentiment in the world right now, not just in our group in the world.
I don't know if it's in the world.
In the world.
Probably not in the world.
Feels like it's the world.
And I don't think it's not
Feels a bit
anti-Janine.
worldly.
Janine, we're not anti-you. Nobody's anti-you. We're not.
Janine,
Not that you don't need our reassurance, but we're just telling you.
Your reassurance.
We're not anti-you. Nobody's anti-you.
Do you think anybody's on your side? Am I on your side?
With what?
Anything?
Just because someone disagrees with you doesn't mean we're
not even
anti-you.
my kids.
Not even your
seriously,
kids?
honestly.
No.
Seriously, Janine, just because someone disagrees with you on something doesn't mean they're anti-you. It might be anti something that you think, and but they're not anti-you.
I mean, he was anti me the other day.
I don't recall what he said. I don't remember.
It was a slam. It was like a day when somebody.
Well, what was said? What was it?
When somebody lies in the weeds for a day and pops out and throws a punch, there's some feelings behind that.
Well, what was it? I don't even.
Which, by the way, happened to me today. That happened to me today in the group chat. Not that I was punched in the face, but I said something yesterday and somebody else brought it back up a whole day later.
Well, to be fair, whenever something political or whatever like that comes into the chat, someone pounces on it, and it's usually nobody in this of the three of us. I think we all know who it is. It's usually that person that brings it up, and then it's a big thing.
All right, now Janine definitely just made
I know, I
face.
did it on
I caught
purpose.
that one.
I did it on purpose.
But you know who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's usually that person brings it up, and it's like, oh, again. And I could see everybody in the chats eyes rolling simultaneously. Like, just stop. We don't want to talk about this. That's why whenever that person posts something like that, there's silence afterwards because nobody wants to deal with it. Nobody wants to talk about that.
I was about to ask if people are having this issue amongst their group of friends where the what's happening in the world is getting in between them, and I just realized that you have a full-on fucking snowman sign on your coat's hanger today.
First of all, I'm preparing for the nor'easter.
Is that a snowman with like a hat?
It's a snow woman. She has a hat and a scarf.
You are fucking politically correct. I love it. You're politically correct all the way down.
The only reason it's a snow woman is because I have a matching snowman that goes along with it.
Do you?
Yeah. Which you'll see on Friday.
Oh.
Maybe. A little teaser.
A little teaser.
Little coat hanger teaser for you. But again,
So,
I don't think we should be talking politics and stuff in our group texts, but it comes up and it's like, ugh, why? Every time. I liked when you posted stuff about food. That's great.
I agree, especially since all of you are so ill-informed. I definitely agree with that.
Misinformed.
Mill-informed, I like to say.
Ooh, mill-informed is good. But again, it's not personal.
Do you want to apologize to Janine for your brother?
They are the same person,
We are the same person. We're never in the same room at the same time.
If one of them killed somebody, the other one would get arrested. If they found them first, that's how fucking close it is. That is how close it is.
Yeah.
But he's his own person. I don't know what I don't know what he said. I don't recall.
She just told you what he said.
Oh, look at this man.
No, on Sunday he said. I know he said the Meatloaf thing, but he said he attacked you on Sunday. But I don't know what it was. What did he say?
I don't want to throw fuel on the fire here, but he made a face while he was typing it.
He could.
I know that for a fact.
Oh yeah, like there's no doubt.
Yeah.
No, but I just don't know what was. I don't remember seeing it. I don't. By the time after, to be honest.
You sound like Prince Andrew right now. You were fucking there. You're in the picture.
To be honest, when I look at my text sometimes, like I'm away from my phone for like 5 minutes, I go back to it. There's like 100 texts I missed, and I'm like, I'm not reading all these. So I sometimes I don't see all the texts. To be fair, so I must have missed what happened on Sunday.
He was writing about someone, and then he used my thing that I said about Meatloaf as a joke. Because there's no way this person's obese or had an alcohol or drug problem. But my whole thing was, that's exactly it.
So it's not a joke.
No, I'm saying, like, I wasn't mad. See?
She's saying that she wasn't saying it in anger. She was just making a joke, and it got misconstrued.
That's why you put an LOL after.
I wasn't
smiley
like,
face.
no, that's not why he died. He died because he had alcohol and obesity problems. I was like, yeah, you think maybe? Like as a joke.
I understand if you meant it as a joke, but it did. I remember that text. I don't know what happened Sunday, but I remember that part. And it did seem like you were swinging back at Mike. Mike said something, and without you specifying that, it didn't seem like a joke in the text. Is that fair to say? It didn't come off as a joke?
Really?
I didn't.
You think I should have added an LOL at the end?
An LOL? Because to be fair, you do LOL in texts a lot, which is great.
That was
great.
God.
That was a hell of an accusation.
No, not a lot, but you do. LOL.
Oh, well,
And
definitely
that's how we
not
know
using
you joke.
LOL anymore.
Because you joke. You joke around.
Definitely not using L anymore.
I can't finish what I'm saying before I
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying.
I just want to say you LOL of an appropriate amount. I have no problem with your LOL activity.
I think you LOL a good amount, but that's how we know when you're joking. I did not say too much.
I heard too much.
I said a lot.
I heard she uses LOL in an obscene amount. Is basically
no, and I think if there was a note to self, do not LOL. No, you can LOL as much as you want, but there was no LOL there, so we didn't know it was a joke. It seemed like you were firing back at Mike for saying Meatloaf died of COVID.
No, he didn't. That's the whole thing.
Whatever you said. It seemed like you were
like pissed off.
Right. It didn't seem like a joke. Is what I'm
pissed
saying.
off though. That's like. But
it's hard to tell with text. So you don't know moods people are in with just the words. It's hard to tell. Am I wrong there?
I have a question. Can she write rolling on the floor laughing my ass? Can she write that still? Is that okay?
What are you asking?
Hold on.
Right.
I really don't like people. I don't like the ROTL. I know you're not. I know you're not even LOLing.
I don't think anybody ever rolled on the floor laughing their ass off. I don't think that's ever happened.
Yeah, it's never happened
in the history of laughing.
And I have said a lot of really funny shit, and I still don't think it's happened.
What is happening? Does this do not LOL? See, those last three are Anthony. I'm only claiming responsibility for the LOL.
I do LMFAO. I do that one. I do.
But
I throw it in the air.
Listen, no, Ginny, you do. We don't know you're joking. Like if someone LOLs, it's good, so that we know it's a joke. I didn't see it as a joke, is what I'm saying. So maybe he didn't either. Is all I.
Perhaps you should disclose that it's. You should warn that humor's coming, and then say what you're gonna say.
Okay. You know what? Thank you. So now that whatever he wrote on Sunday to me, I'm not going to take that as a joke because he didn't write LOL after it at all.
I don't know what he wrote on Sunday.
Oh, that's
what
an
did he
excellent
write
point.
on Sunday?
He did not write LOL. I know that.
No, I'm not saying you have to write LOL at the end of everything that you're joking about, but it just didn't come off. It came off as a stance.
It's called disclosure, you dickhead.
Okay.
And on that note,
did it not?
I'm gonna go.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm gonna go bitch to my husband right now.
Listen, I'm probably wrong, and I'm sorry if I offended you, but I don't know.
Why don't you have a transgendered snow person? What's wrong with them? What's your problem?
I can't believe that.
Because I don't like you, Anthony. That's why.
Hold on.
This might be my last podcast. Might be my last episode. Because no matter what I say.
Oh God! No.
What?
I forgot what I was gonna say.
What were you gonna say? That was a big reaction for nothing.
No, never mind. My friend's texting me.
Oh, she's looking at it. I keep forgetting you're on your phone.
Yeah, I'm like, why does this
Camera is
person
your phone.
keep messaging me?
So what is? So go ahead, Gate. I mean, no, go ahead is just
Janine
our
was
normal.
just gonna say something. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I said it again. Go ahead.
No, I
So is
think
that the
that's.
official? You got.
I think that's
Go
me.
ahead.
That's it for me tonight.
You're done?
Are you mad? Are you mad at me?
She's still angry. She was angry last episode. She's taking some big swings.
I didn't make any faces. If I did, I'm sorry. I try not to. This is my normal face, and if I make a face, it's just reactionary. It's not meant to insult.
Okay.
I apologize if I insulted you. I apologize. I don't mean to.
I don't give a shit if I've offended you ever. Go fuck
Yes.
yourself.
Oh, you've definitely offended me.
I could care less.
Many. Hold on, let me get out my notes.
Just so you know, Janine, I
Just
do
like a
think
woman.
you're stupid. I can't
Just like-
stand you.
I know.
And this face is for Anthony, not for Janine.
I never liked you. I don't even know how we all got here.
Again, this is my last podcast.
Clearly mine too. Good night.
Mic dropped.
That's all right. We still have Janine. We don't.
And what's the matter with you?
We don't need her here physically
Anthony.
anymore.
That's a couple of.
What?
I'm very anti-Janine. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
What's the matter? What's wrong with me?
You just fuel on every time we try to make any kind of headway here. We try to make any kind of connection again. You're like, oh, fuck you. You're an asshole, Frank. What are you doing? You're just throwing fuel on the fire. You're trying to. Anytime we try to reconcile, you're just like, no, fuck that guy. That's
Entertaining the audience? Is that what you're accusing me?
you're destroying friendships just for entertainment's sake.
No, listen. I think it's a very tough time. I think her feelings are hurt. I think she doesn't want to say it now, but she was taking some big swings. But I also think that you both, it's a weird, tough time. That's all it is. I don't think you're being overly insensitive. I just think that you think you're very right.
But I don't. What am I saying that it's insulted her?
I don't know. I think she was more insulted by the faces, which I hadn't really noticed until she said it a bunch of times.
And you did notice after that?
The faces?
Yeah.
No, I was too lazy to go back and check all the shows.
If she said something that I don't agree with, yeah, I'll make a face like I don't agree with that. But I'm not making fun of her face. I'm not going to be like, she's an idiot. My faces are. I'm not going to sit there like this the whole time and not react to stuff she says. I react to stuff you say too.
Yeah.
Why would I? It's just faces that I make. I think also, I don't think she could see. Because she's on her iPhone, I'm pretty sure she could only see like half of what we see. I think she only focuses on like half the screen, and I think I'm on most of it. That's what used to be the case on my screen. With
Maybe she's getting too much of you. That I can get.
I think that's a problem.
I can sympathize with that.
You shouldn't get too much of me. But I don't think I'm making any. I think I'm just making reactionary. When someone says something, I react. It's not a face meant to insult. It's just a face that I make when I react. That's all.
What I think it is, and all kidding aside, I think that she's aware of everything that you're saying. She just feels a different way about it. And I think that you feel that you are 100% right because of what the facts that you have. And I also think that you don't think that you could possibly be wrong.
No, if I could be wrong, but I don't.
In this particular, when we're talking about the pandemic and all the masks and all the bullshit, I think you feel like I'm not. This isn't a criticism. I don't want you to feel criticized. Go ahead. I think you think there is no possible, because I felt this way about things too. That there's no fucking way I could be wrong about this. No way. And I think that's how you feel. And I also think that it's a combination of that.
You don't think she feels the same way, that she can't be wrong?
No, I don't. Again, you know how they say, you know that old saying, this is the immovable, what is it?
The
irresistible
immovable
force.
No, stop it. The immovable object meets the unstoppable force.
Unstoppable force. I think that's what it's too. I think she's aware. She has all the facts that you have, and she just thinks about it a different way. And I think it's that, because I think you're thinking, how could she not see it the way I see it with all these facts? And I think she does see all the facts. She just has a different opinion on it.
How could you have a different opinion on facts?
I think if there's anything the pandemic has taught us, is that that does exist.
This is a mug. That's a fact. Your opinion about it doesn't matter. Your opinion could be that this is television, but that doesn't make it any less of a mug.
Listen. We're watching this play out right now with the mask mandate in schools right here in New York right now, where a lot of people feel like these things are keeping our children safe, and then you have also I feel like not as many. I think they're in the minority, but you have a bunch of people, and some of them are in power, and some of them are in government, where they're kind of like it should be left up to the people. And there's people that are like, and I've seen it in the comments. One of the comments today was from a woman who was like, "I'm vaccinated. I believe everybody should be vaccinated. I don't believe everybody should be mandated to be vaccinated."
Yeah, I get that. I don't think it should come to that.
I think that's hard for people who feel the way you feel to understand.
No,
I think it was
that's
hard for
incorrect.
me to understand in the beginning.
I don't think we should be mandated to be vaccinated, but I do think that we should all be vaccinated.
And that you're left. So right there is the difference, I think. I think that in that moment, you think we're left with no choice because we have to get this done. And then I think other people just think, well, then it is what it is. I think that's where the skew. I think that's where the skew happens. I think people all feel like we should be vaccinated, and I think that nobody really likes the mandate. Just like you just said, like I don't
want
think
to be told you have to do this. No,
but having come to those two crossroads, I think your next step is, but we have to get this done. So you should be. So if it's a mandate's what it takes, then that's what it takes. But I think some other people skew off the other direction to an alternate 1985 where they go, I think we should be vaccinated. I don't think you should take a mandate. And since people just don't want it, let them not get it because that's their choice.
But it doesn't just. But that's the problem. That choice doesn't just affect themselves; it affects others as well. They're taking up hospitals that don't need. They're overworking nurses and doctors. They're taking time away from people. You're being. It's a needless infection. It's not necessary. Like you don't have to. I understand.
It can be avoided.
It could be avoided. Is what I'm saying. It's like the seatbelt thing back in the 90s. Nobody wanted to wear a seatbelt, and then they made a law: you got to wear a seatbelt, or you're getting a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And then now everybody wears a seatbelt, and everybody complains. You can't tell me what to do. You can't tell me what to do. Okay, you don't have to. You don't wear it. You're gonna get a ticket, and that's just the way it is.
I agree. You know what? And I think the seatbelt argument and the smoking argument is a hole in people who believe in choice, freedom of choice. I think it's a hole in their argument. I don't think they can reconcile that.
Yeah, that's the other thing. The cigarette argument's a little better because the cigarette thing is well, you can't tell me not to smoke. Yes, we can, but I want to smoke, and it's my choice. Yeah, it's your choice to do that. But you're also now affecting everybody else in the room that doesn't want to smoke and wants nothing to do with it. You're telling them they have to smoke now. It's like you're taking away, you're infecting them by making this selfish choice.
Right. Okay. Now, and let me say this, and I'm on your side here. Like, let's assume for argument, because I disagree with something.
You didn't see him about that. You didn't see him on my side before.
Let's assume I'm on your side now.
Okay.
That argument holds up and maintains, if you ask me, we need to be vaccinated because if you're not, this thing is going to continue developing different variants. But I think, because I definitely felt that way. I shouldn't say I felt that way. I accepted that argument pre-Omicron.
Okay.
Because Omicron was a thing now where it didn't matter if you had a vaccine or not, if you were boosted or not, you got it.
Getting it is not. See, that's where people get hooked up on it.
No. I'm just saying
you from getting it.
That's not what I'm saying. You're missing what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm saying the argument of we all need to be vaccinated, which in the beginning I very much believed in. And I still hope everybody does get vaccinated. This argument of we all need to be vaccinated because we don't want it to spread amongst the unvaccinated, where it can develop more variants, kind of gets killed a little when you have it spreading amongst people that are still
That's not the only
vaccinated.
reason. That's not the only reason.
I'm just saying, I know they're not going to get as sick. They're not going to be in the hospital, but those aren't points against this particular argument. Does that make sense? Am I making?
Sure.
Okay.
The variant thing I get. But when it comes to you getting vaccinated, there's more studies done that people who have had COVID are seeing effects after they're done with COVID, after COVID's gone.
Tell me about it, guy. I'm still out of breath.
I know someone who had COVID in the beginning, early or mid to 2020. Okay, when it was the first coming out. Now they have trouble breathing. They have lung disorders. They have issues that stem from it. They're constantly coughing, and it's a problem. And they have difficulty breathing. It's a long-term effect from COVID. And the vaccine wasn't out yet, so we didn't have it yet. So, but now we have it. Why wouldn't you want to take it? Why wouldn't you want that extra protection?
I'm on the record as saying this, and I know the answer why, because it's become so politicized. This thing, that's
the problem.
But my thing is, and I said this like a long time ago. Nobody is afraid of the fact that a quote unquote respiratory illness is causing you to have neurological effects of losing your smell and taste. That's not alarming anybody.
It's a fucked up virus that screws with you and messes with you long term. It's not over in 2 weeks. It's not the flu. It's not just gone and then you're done with it. It fucks with you.
And nobody seems to give a shit about some of those things, or these long COVIDs as people are calling them. They're more cared about getting their side heard and getting their side across.
And my whole get vaccinated stance comes from a place of we just don't want to see people. I don't want to see people have long-term effects from this.
We know it comes from a good place.
I don't care. It's not me saying, you should do what I want. No, it's not, because I'm vaccinated. You don't get vaccinated. I know, but it's me saying people, you're going to have, I just care that people don't have long-term problems, because the way I've seen people go out with lung problems and it's not pretty. This is not something to mess with. And I just don't think it's something that could be prevented. And we've asked the government to come up with something. The CDC, the World Health, they've come up with something. They said, here, take this, and this will help you. We haven't started. It's not like we heard COVID-19 was a thing and we started working on this. No, they've been working on this for decades, and they formatted it for COVID-19. They said, all right, COVID-19 is a thing. We have this thing in the works. Now we're going to make it a widespread vaccine, and we're going to make sure everybody gets it. They handed it out for free, and people are like, why should I trust you? And it's like, well, whenever there's an outbreak of something, this is what we do. We come up with the vaccine. Here it is. And in most cases, the vaccine's effects, if there are negative effects, are felt within a few months of receiving it. There hasn't been any effects that, related to the vaccine that on a wide, maybe there's a couple of people that had some kind of, but out of the millions that have gotten it, the vaccine's effects are less than that of COVID's, is my point. And it's just that you're either going to get COVID without the vaccine or you're going to get COVID with the vaccine. Those seem to be the options these days. It's, or you don't get COVID. Good for you. If you don't get COVID, wonderful.
That's amazing. I mean, honestly, you've never had it, right? I mean, the amount of people who have, Janine's never had it.
Right.
The amount of people who have never had it, I would love to know that number. I would love to know.
Yeah.
What do you think that number is?
Well, just do the confirmed cases minus the world population.
No, I don't think it's that though, because I think there's people who have had it and you just didn't even know.
Well, that's true. Yeah, people have had it, but
I would love to know the
can't go
true
by that.
number
Yeah.
of people who've never ever had it.
when they're not reported, you're not going to know that number.
I gotta say, I wonder if that's even in the millions at this point.
That haven't had it?
That have never had it.
Of course it would.
I don't think it's like 50
There's almost
million or
7 billion people. You think?
I meant in America. I'm sorry. That's more. I was
Okay.
thinking more out of like 350 million people. It kind of feels like
You think there's fewer than 1 million people that haven't had it?
at this point, especially the way Omicron. Maybe I shouldn't say that because New York is done with it, but I feel like it's still kind of making its way across the country. When this little wave is all said and done, with how contagious that shit was, I would be really surprised if it. All right, maybe 10 million people. I still think it would be a compared to 350 million population. I think it would be a ludicrously low number. But my point, getting back to because people are going to ask where I even stand on this, and where I stand on this right now is this is an awful situation, and we've fucked it up, and it's a fucked up situation, and it's not. Here's my thing. I understand that you want everybody vaccinated. It's not working. It's just not working. Janine, other people and friends, they're not getting it. They're not going to get it.
No, I know that nothing I say can convince.
Nothing is, and I feel like people who are pushing it are making it even worse. You know, it's funny. I really watch TV anymore, and now when I watch, we're getting a nor'easter, so I literally put on my local cable news channel here in Long Island to see what was happening. And during the football, I can't remember if it was during the football game, right after the football game was on, every other commercial on regular television is a fucking push to get the vaccine. Every other commercial. I just don't think it's working. And I think it's starting to have a negative effect on what it's trying to accomplish, which is getting more people vaccinated. And I think the more that they force and mandate, I think that is just causing people on the other side to dig in their heels even more. You know, and then the other hand is, I legitimately think there are people that are having adverse reactions to this thing. I don't think it's as big as people are claiming. And I think this VIIRS, database is kind of bullshit because anybody can fucking claim anything. And I know doctors have to actually put it in, but doctors are just putting in what people are telling them is happening. I don't think that that's being followed up upon as much as it should be. It's an out of control situation, so I do think that the vaccine is being blamed for things that are just happening to people in their lives at the same time. I think there's a lot of that going on. But again, when you look at a knot at some point, you just kind of throw your hands up and you go, there's so much fucked up here that it's not any one direction's fault on what's happening. But I do think at this point, where what we know, we have to figure out a different approach, because the approach that we started with Trump in 2020 is not the approach that we should still be taking in 2022.
Well, what approach is there other than here's a vaccine for this deadly disease? Take it, please. How else can you say, listen, here's the research, here's the data, it's working. The people that are most of the people in the hospital with COVID are unvaccinated. Here, what else? What other message could there be?
Again, I've said this in the past. I think Biden should reach out to Trump and ask him to go on every fucking
Trump has said take it.
But
he gets booed.
But Trump is saying it at live appearances with Bill O'Reilly and fucking Candace Owen that no liberal is actually fucking watching. He's got to go on mainstream media. Why isn't there
he's not going to do that.
I just said I saw all these commercials. I'm the county clerk. I'm the local doctor. I haven't ever fucking heard of these people. Why don't you put him on a spot? He loves the spotlight. He would do it. Why isn't that there?
You think he's going to go on CNN and MSNBC?
He should.
He should.
I think Biden should ask him, and I think he should agree. And that's not getting done. I also think now that, like,
That would be great. That would be great.
I think they need to look more into where can this possibly go in the next 6 months to a year, and start there. Start with, hey, we've run, because in the beginning, right? Remember, everybody said, oh, this is experimental. It's not a real vaccine. It's not approved. Now it's approved. Now we have even more data. You know what I'm saying? So the more you build up that information, the more solid the case becomes versus what it was over the last 18 months.
Yeah, well, I think the message now is here's a FDA approved vaccine. What else can you say? I mean, it's FDA approved and it's working.
But I also think that they should put some of these conversations out in the open. The people that resigned from the FDA when they approved it, what's their story? This crazy ass McCullough, who the more I think about him and his Joe Rogan appearance, I kind of think it's more, he was just wrong about a lot. He was really wrong about you can't get it twice. There's so many people I know that have tested, got it, tested positive, tested negative 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. And then, 2 years later, you're just, he's like, there's no document. You're wrong. Like, you're just flat out wrong about it. That debate, he agreed to debate somebody on the other side on Rogan. How has that not happened yet? Like, you mean people don't have time to go on a show that gets fucking 15 million downloads? Like, that's bullshit. Like, there's certain things where it's like, enough is enough already. Let's start to put all this stuff out in the open and figure it out.
I would love to see I don't know. Well, it would have to be an accurate number. So it would have to be, because they did this once with something else. It would have to be like a group of scientists or doctors that are pro-vaccine and a group that are anti. But it can't be the same number because that's not a fair representation. So it would have to be like, whatever, let's say 90% are pro and 10% are against. It would have to be 9 versus 1 or 18 versus 2, because it can't be 2 versus 2 because that's not an equal representation of who's against what. And let's hear both sides. Let's hear, all right, what's your case? And then they'll have a debate, the presidential debate.
I think you have to have a presentation of facts. I think you have to do that because we live in an unbelievable time where, and I see this, if the baby boomers, right, who are still around, if they turn on the television and somebody tells them something, they believe that to be gold. And then as you slowly move down the generations, you have these younger people, even people 30s, 40s, our age, that they believe it's their job now to seek out and find that this do your research phraseology is unbelievably powerfully out of control.
It really is, because do your research doesn't begin to cover what research needs to be done.
It's not even research. It's finding out what other people are saying on the internet.
Exactly. The actual research is being done by the scientists and the doctors.
It's scientific study, it's hypotheses, it's reports, it's peer reviewed.
Right. Those are the people doing the research. What we're doing is looking something up that takes, however long it takes. But it's not years of research.
I got sent a clip of Candace Owens, and she was criticizing Trump because she was basically saying he's at that age where he's a baby boomer, and those people don't believe in doing their own research and blah blah blah. They don't believe she was saying, no, I'm sorry. She said that he is disciples a bit, not the word she used, I'm paraphrasing, but that he was just he's just the mainstream media guy. That he's a mainstream media guy was her point, and that he plays in the mainstream media. He believes that to be more important than anything else, and that is what it is. Now, what's interesting about that is I actually agree with that to a degree. What I think is happening is I think more people are reaching outside of the mainstream media for their entertainment. And I think that's the truth, and that's a natural occurrence of what's happening. You look at the Real World on MTV, right? The first time we turned the cameras from this way to this way, to where YouTube is right now and people just vlogging, that's a natural evolution.
Sure.
But that's entertainment.
Yeah, exactly.
News and information is something entirely different.
Agreed, which is why chapter 12 of my book, I think that news should not be rated. I don't think there should be ratings. I don't think there should be advertising.
Well, he lost that argument a long time
I
ago,
know.
and they're not putting the cat back in the bag.
It's a shame because what drives the news shouldn't be,
or the toothpaste back in the tube.
Right.
Why'd
There
you let
should
me get
be.
away with that?
I don't even know. That was fine.
Good.
There should, the news shouldn't be run by people who just want to see their ratings go up, or their advertising go up. It should just be, here are the facts. If it was given to me by a robot, fine, but nobody's going to watch that. So I think the news should be as impartial as it can be, but how can it? Without one, it can't have it should just be not people telling us what happens. It should just be like if there was a Trump rally, you have the rally and you just, I go from his words. I'm not going from what other people tell me his words were. I hear what he said. I'm not saying, I don't need Tucker Carlson or whoever else telling me, well, the president said this is what he meant. No, I'm watching him and hearing him. This is what he said. That's the news. And also my other point is, whenever we do something, whenever we take a step forward in science, we can't start from scratch every single time, or else we'll never move forward. So research has already been done and we're carrying the torch. So in other words,
right, I understand it, but here's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I can get somebody to agree to stop reading the shit that you say on the internet, okay, and trust the doctors and the scientists, where we are in the world right now, because the internet has leveled the playing field and given a voice to so many. Before, you had 4 news outlets and that was it. You had the paper, you had 3 TV stations, right? Like, and a magazine, that was it. There was like a handful of news outlets.
Yeah.
Now anybody can garner an audience. And to Janine's point, you have doctors who are coming out and saying, no, these things are bad. The things that everybody's saying is good. These things are bad. And I think this is where the animosity comes in between the two sides. She's choosing to believe those doctors, even though there may be a limited number, might be your argument, over the doctors that you're choosing to agree with too.
That's the thing. Like say there's.
That's a sign of our times. Things have changed.
I know, but my point is, if there's 90 doctors saying this thing is good, and 10 saying this thing is bad, I'm probably going to believe the 90.
Here's the issue that no human being wants to say. I'll say it.
Okay.
The real answer occurs over time. That old phrase, time will tell. Because when you have a feeling on something like, do this, do this, do this, and everybody says do that, and everybody's doing that. And then, this has happened a billion times. And then all of a sudden people realize, we got this wrong. It's actually this way, right? And we correct it. We only learn that shit over time. And I think a lot of people who feel the way Janine feels feel like that's what they're witnessing right now. I saw a guy the other day. I saw a clip on the internet. Guy literally said, my family thinks I'm crazy because I think there's people living on Mars that are here influencing our decisions on this whole vaccine. And this other person agreed with him wholeheartedly. This looked like a normal person, totally sincere. He's like, and it's hard because I'm right. And I looked at this guy and I go, this guy I'm not saying this is Janine. I'm giving an extreme example. But this guy.
I thought you were referring to me.
No, this guy believes it. Believes it to be true. Believes it to be 100% true.
That's an extreme example, though.
It was an extreme example. But I think that's what the case is. And
I understand the other side. I get it. They're worried that it's not something that's tested, and we don't know the long-term effect. But then I come back with they've been working on this thing for decades. This isn't something they just came out with. You know, they've known about COVID-19. You know, the COVID variants and the COVID stuff. You know, I forget what it's called before it's called. I forget.
You know what's weird? You know, my honest feeling is on this. This is going to work itself out like everything else. So with the polio vaccine, like people are often saying, well, thank God we didn't have the internet around because we would have never gotten the polio vaccine off the ground. That may be true, but I also think that polio and the effect it had on children was a horrific. I think that if this thing affected little children more, I don't think you would have half the issue with people getting vaccinated and getting, you know, I think that some of the problem is it's like, oh, it's the fat and elderly and unhealthy. I think that's a lot of it. I think a lot of people in their heart of hearts feel like, well, if you're immune deficient, you should know better than to go out and live like a life like I'm living.
That shouldn't be the case.
I think people feel that way. But I think if you're like, oh, innocent children are dying, oh shit, we better fix this. Like I think that's how people really, I think that's the human.
That doesn't work though. That doesn't work with guns.
I think that's the human nature. I think that's how it is. So I think that polio worked itself out. Problem. I'm just saying, I think polio worked itself out because we saw this horrific thing, which had horrific circumstances, and we were like, we better fucking fix this. Now that was
100 years. Oh, not 100, but a long time ago, decades ago.
And I'm not saying this is any less horrific, but you get the point that I'm making, where it's like, oh, old and fat people, like, yeah, okay. And versus young children, I think that's where human nature lies. And people are just like, well, those people better figure it out, not trample on my freedoms. But let alone if you had 1,000 kids dying every day from this thing, I think all those people would about face on how they feel about this.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
I don't know, because I look at the gun problem. Kids are dying, getting shot. Nobody's done a thing about guns. Not a thing, but there really hasn't been major anything. Still a big problem.
I think with that,
not to get onto another whole subject.
But I think the difference is people who feel that way about guns, even though kids are dying, feel like it's never going to happen to them and their kids. Whereas
I think that's the same thing with this. Well, it's not going to happen to me.
Right. They can feel that way because if they feel they're healthy and whatever, this is the same reason why nobody wants to tax the rich. This is the same exact reason. 1% of this country makes more than, I forget what the amount of people that make over $440,000 a year is, I don't know what the percentage is, but it's fucking astronomically low.
Yeah.
Astronomically low.
Yeah.
And although people believe in trickle down economics, okay, the real reason why people don't want to tax the rich is because they all feel like they're going to get there one day and they don't want to have to give it up.
Which is absurd and insane.
That's the truth, the psychology behind people who are making fucking 90,000 a year and acting like they are all this fucking money and going like, well, I'm a Republican because I don't want you fucking taking my money. And it's like, they're not really protecting you, are they? They're protecting the people that are making over 440,000. And that is never going to be you. And you're nice and comfortable $90,000 a job a year.
And that's fine. But even like people in that $90,000 a year or less or whatever job, I don't make anywhere near that. But it's like, why? Even if I got to that, if I'm making all of a sudden next year I start making $500,000 a year, why wouldn't I want to pay? All right, I have to start paying more now because I'm making. Of course, you have to account for that.
Some people feel that way, but they prey on this thing of like they're going to take this away from you, and nobody feels like they're not going to make it to that level.
Don't get
and
that. Yeah,
like 95% of those people are not fucking making it to that level. It's not happening.
But what's crazy to me is how we haven't gotten something that simple done, because it's that astronomical percentage, small percentage, versus the rest of us, and we can't even get that done.
I will never forget. I put out a thing once. I forget what the number was, $1 billion or whatever it was. Would you want to tax somebody on the $10 millionth would you want the tax rate going up on the 10 millionth dollar that they make in a year? The 10 millionth, meaning their tax rate, if you make $9.5 million in a year, nothing changes. But if you make 10, you get bumped up to this much money. People, you would have thought I murdered somebody. People are like, you can't do that. You can't tax the rich. They're going to not put out the bid. I go, let's say I agree with your argument. If you tax the rich, they're not going to open up businesses. It's not going to trickle down. I'm with you 100%. But the 10 millionth dollar, we can't throw a little bit more behind that one? No. Get out of my fucking face. You don't know what you're talking about. That
I don't understand how it's not a straight percentage across the board. Here's the percentage of your money we're taking out. That's it.
Because the rich people set it up and they lobby to keep it the way it is. And by the way, the Democrats and the Republicans keep it that way. So
lobbying should be illegal. That's my stance on lobbying.
Campaign finance reform. Haven't been able to pass that since it's been brought up since the 1940s.
Lobbying should be illegal is chapter 11 in my book. That will never come out.
Wait, that's the chapter 11? I thought that was where you lost all your money. That was
bankruptcy.
We can't talk about the Eels. We gotta fucking.
Can we do 5 minutes on the Eels?
It's so late.
It is so late.
This is almost a 2-hour show. All right.
We could do Eels on Friday.
Let's throw it out there.
All right.
No one knows how
the Eels banging. We don't know.
For everything we know, an entire species, the eel. This is not like something we just discovered on the bottom of the ocean. Remember, they go, "Oh, a new species was some dick figured out a way to go 10 feet lower in the ocean, in the dark, deep part of the ocean." No, not that. We've had eels my uncle eats eels like it's fucking hotcakes, especially around the holidays. We have no idea how they reproduce.
I don't understand that though. Don't we have eels like in tanks and stuff? They don't reproduce in tanks?
No. They've never seen, human beings have never seen or documented how an eel produces. What we know is reproduces. They go into the fucking Bermuda Triangle, the place where boats get lost, shit gets all fucked up. We don't know what's going on.
Mysteries abound.
All the eels that exist in the world came from the Bermuda Triangle. How mind-blowing is that fact? Every eel that we know exists has come from the Bermuda Triangle. We know that. We have not even been able to go there and capture how it's done. All we know is every year a bunch of new eels come fucking swimming out of the Bermuda Triangle. What we do know is this started when the continents were a lot closer, and now that they are so far apart, the eels are still doing it this way.
That's amazing to me. The eels make the journey from the Bermuda Triangle. They travel all the way to Europe from the Bermuda Triangle, and they do it every year.
All the time.
The time. They make that migration, and they grow as they get there. They're in different stages of life as they travel across the ocean, over thousands of miles, that is. And that's how they do it, but they don't know how they start.
We have never been able to document how an eel reproduces. It's 2022. We do not know how there's more eels.
It doesn't make any sense to me how we haven't they've taken full-grown eels, opened them up, and found no reproductive organs.
Nothing.
And look at them and go, all right, there's no eggs here.
No eggs.
There's nothing. We don't know what we're looking at here.
All we know is that more eels keep coming.
I think the people from Mars are bringing them.
Isn't that alarming? Just don't you find
weird.
That a little uncomfortable?
So if I got a male and female eel, and I put them in a tank, they ain't banging?
No.
They ain't gonna make little baby eels.
No.
They're just gonna be like, they're watching me. I'm not.
It's been done. That's part of the study. Like,
I know.
That's been done, and they've gone, nothing's happened.
Guys.
Yeah.
Come on. Do something.
Doesn't that freak you out, though? It's down to we know where it happens, but we still don't know how it happens.
Is it too deep, the part of the ocean where it happens?
Well, when they start, they're tiny.
Well, they're tiny. Well, what do you mean when they start?
When the first eel is tiny.
Right. But is it born that way, or does it come out of an egg, or is it live?
Nobody knows. All we know is
we know where it's happening. Why can't we see it?
Because eels this size, we know are coming in from this direction, the Bermuda Triangle, And when they go to the Bermuda Triangle, they can't nothing.
They can't backtrack where the eels are coming from and go up.
No, they have. They've backtracked, and when they get there, nothing.
So wait a minute.
Something has to happen. Nothing happens.
Nothing. No, nothing. But here's the thing. You got the baby eels. There has to be a big eel or two to make the baby eel.
They haven't found it.
They haven't found 2 big eels in that spot where the baby eel is. So the baby eel starts baby, becomes big, circles back, because the baby eels aren't making baby eels.
You're asking all the questions. They don't know the answers. They don't know. We've got tons of scientists on it. Nothing. They're scratching their head.
That's the eels have got one over on us then.
This feels like a massive oversight, does it not?
I feel like, you know what? We need some mystery in our lives. JFK, Bigfoot, eels banging.
You ask me, this rises to the top of the conspiracy theory chart. Like, this is right up there with most of the unsolved mysteries of our existence.
You know, if they didn't come out of the Bermuda Triangle, I would think it was less weird. But the fact that they are all coming out of that one spot, it's kind of freaky. It's freaking me out a little bit.
Because when you sell it like that, like, oh, we just know that they're coming from the most elusive place that we can think of. You'd be like,
that can't be right, though. I don't think that's right. Not all of the eels come from that one spot in the world.
Every eel in existence comes from the Bermuda Triangle.
Because there are swamps and stuff in like Louisiana where there are eels. No. There's no way they're coming from. They're in landlocked swamps. How are they coming from the Bermuda Triangle?
Landlocked swamps?
Yeah, like swamps in Alabama, swamps in there's eels there.
I don't think so, my friend.
I'm looking that up. There's no way they're all coming from that one. All right, eels.
They say freshwater eels even come from salt water. They come from the Bermuda Triangle. If there's a swamp,
American eel are also sometimes found in landlocked lakes, particularly in northeastern U.S. water.
But there's a feeder system that gets water into that lake.
Yeah, like glaciers and shit. It's not coming from the ocean.
Well, no.
Rainwater.
If it's a swamp or where it's coming from a river, something is flowing into it.
But there's landlocked eels they're in landlocked areas. They're not coming from the ocean. You bastard.
You're a bastard.
Eels are mysterious bastards. But good for them.
You crazy bastard.
I feel like eels, hey, a way to spy in on them banging.
I feel like nothing is real anymore.
Nothing is eel anymore.
Give it a 2. You give it 2 give it double guns on that one. That's it for us. We'll catch you guys on the next episode. Don't forget to visit shopanthonyanita.com. Grab yourself some merch. Support the show there. Link in the description below in this episode. And of course, purchase your Jumpstart Coffee Company. Save 15% with the promo code AOA15. Again, link in the description or on the homepage of AnthonyOnAir.com.
Show me potato salad. Maybe we should go now.